Hello, I'm Attorney Todd Leneve. Welcome to West Virginia Gun Law. Today I want to take a few minutes and talk with you about defensive firearm carry in your vehicle. Stick around. One of the questions I'm most frequently asked is what rules apply to me carrying my defensive firearm, whether it's a handgun or otherwise, in my personal vehicle while I'm traveling or while maybe I'm just out running errands in my local community. And it occurs to me that there's an awful lot of really bad information out there on the topic. There's a lot of misunderstanding on the topic. And really, it's an area that a lot of people just don't have good guidance on. I was actually asked this question twice today, and I thought it's worth taking a few minutes to talk about that to make sure you understand what the law is. So understand from the beginning that a defensive firearm isn't just for use when you're at home. We have concealed handgun licenses here in West Virginia that are designed for the purpose of allowing you to be able to conceal your firearm and go out in the public if you choose to do so. That law allows you to have your firearm with you anytime that you need to have it for your personal safety, provided that you're not in one of the handful of places in this state where having a firearm is absolutely prohibited. It's important to understand that your car, your vehicle, is not one of those places. In other words, you can carry a firearm in your vehicle. It's not just limited to a handgun either. West Virginia passed an amendment a couple of years ago to a law that used to prohibit carrying a loaded long gun, that's a rifle or a shotgun, in a vehicle, and now allows you to carry a loaded long gun in your vehicle if that's what you choose to carry for your defensive purposes. It's also important to understand that West Virginia is a constitutional or permitless carry state. Right now there are actually 27 states in the U.S. that employ some form of constitutional carry. And what that means is that as long as you're 21 years or older and you're not a prohibited person, you may carry a concealed firearm in the state of West Virginia without having a license to do so. That applies whether you're a state resident or you're a non-resident. And that's an area where I do get a lot of questions because I've even seen a number of law enforcement officers advise people incorrectly on that issue, thinking that the constitutional carry provisions only protect West Virginia residents. Absolutely, that is not the case. It applies to anybody here, again, who's 21 or older and who's not a prohibited person. And when I say prohibited person, I mean you have the ability to lawfully walk into a firearms dealership and purchase a firearm. There's nothing in your background that would prevent you from being able to lawfully do so. So as long as you either have that concealed handgun license or you're here operating under constitutional carry provisions, you can have a firearm in your vehicle. So a great thing about the way our law is structured is, again, a vehicle is not a place where you're prohibited from having your firearm. So what's that mean for you? Well, have your firearm with you, whether, again, it's a pistol or a long gun. Have it loaded, have it chambered, have it out and accessible where you have ready access to it. That's kind of the point of carrying a defensive gun to begin with, is being able to get to it quickly when you need it. So that means you can carry it in your console, in a cup holder, in the door handle, tucked between the seat and the console, wherever it's comfortable for you. You can wear it on your person if that's comfortable for you. But you may have that firearm with you in the vehicle. It can be loaded and it can be chambered. We don't place any kind of a restriction on the capacity of your magazine. We don't place a restriction on the number of magazines that you can have as spares. We don't place any kind of restriction on your ability to carry spare ammunition in boxes or in some other storage form in your vehicle while you're driving. That is all completely legal. One thing that I will caution you on as well with respect to carrying is that if you would get pulled over, first off, West Virginia is not a duty to inform state. What that means is that Unlike some states where if you get pulled over, you have an obligation to immediately notify the officer that you have a loaded firearm in the vehicle with you. We do not impose that requirement. Now, if you're asked the direct question by an officer, hey, do you have anything in the vehicle, any dangerous or deadly weapons? Frankly, I'm a fan of honesty, but I'm also a fan of individual rights. And the law says that we do not have to inform. So I leave that up to your discretion, your judgment on how you want to deal with an officer if you would be pulled over and that issue come up in conversation. Now, one other point about answering that question for an officer at the roadside is to understand that if you would happen to have pulled over into an area, onto a property that is one of the handful of restricted places in this state where firearm possession is not permitted, and you then admit you have a firearm, understand that you've just admitted to a crime, and things could spiral downhill very quickly. So I urge people to take time, learn where your state does and does not permit you to have a firearm, and then just make sure you avoid those areas, particularly if you're getting pulled over by the police. Listen, this is an area that can get really deep into the weeds. There are a lot of questions that can spring out of the things that we've discussed, and I'm trying to keep the focus of the video pretty direct. So if you have questions on specific issues that we haven't talked about here, feel free to reach out to me. The contact information is in the video description below. You could leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond to those. But let me know. Make sure that you don't go out there without the information you need to be safe and to be legal. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit that bell icon so that you can choose how you get notified when new videos drop. Also, hit the like and share the video, please. Get this information out to your friends, because there are an awful lot of people, again, who just don't understand how this law applies here. And I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to help you be safe and be legal with your firearms. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me here today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care and be safe.